Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me. How y'all doing? Hey, 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 y'all. Welcome, 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 welcome to Tea with Tanisha. Oh, I'm so excited to be joining you today. Today, we're going to talk about choosing joy. And I'm going to tell y'all why I want to talk about choosing joy because lately, ooh, I've been having a tough time. It has nothing to do with the election. Just before any of y'all are like, what? I don't feel like hearing about the election. I'm not even going to talk to you about that. So it has nothing to do with that. It's just, I just had some things on my mind. So I figured we'd jump in, and I'd get into this conversation with you. I hope there isn't too much of a delay on my end, but I'm going to get into this conversation anyway. Let's see if there is a delay. If there's a delay, you all let me know if everything is fine. It's my first time using StreamYard, and so I know how to use StreamYard, but I'm curious to see how well everything else works. You know, I've been on some events where they use StreamYard, and yikes, the quality behind the scenes looked like it was a little bit tough. So let's see. Can y'all hear me? Can you see me? Can you tell me something? Can anybody talk to me and tell me something? If you can hear me, see me, yes, yes, yes. Just let us just to know. Anyway, I'm gonna jump into this conversation. So, hey, 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 everybody, it's me, Tanisha O, and welcome, welcome, welcome to Tea with Tanisha O. I am Tanisha O, KK, CEO of Blending Our Love Incorporated, and I'm a forgiveness coach. I get to travel the world, literally globally, helping business moms unbreak, undo, shift some behaviors inside of them to help them get to the other side of their freedom, help them build legacies, their companies, and all the things that they desire to do. But today, I wanted us to talk about choosing joy. You know, as a forgiveness coach, sometimes people always think that when we're doing something, when we're working or operating in a gift or in something that we're good at, it's always thought that you have to have that perfected before you can help somebody else. People don't realize that we always get to be a work in progress as well as a leader or an expert in our area at the same time. Why? Because life is always happening. You're always going to run into situations where things get difficult, life gets a little bit hard, things happen, right? And so lately, I just started finding myself kind of getting into this pity party train. I have a lot going on in my life. I have the 75-day challenge. And so that means every morning at 5 a.m. I have this beautiful group of women who come together and we're together. And then I have all of these projects that I'm working on for our corporation that we're rolling out. And there are just all these things happening, and I'm being stretched. Let me just be honest with you. I'm completely being stretched. And there are things happening in my family life, my personal life, right? And so probably by about Friday, I just felt myself like this pity party coming on, right? And I said, what do I do with this? And I know the warning signs. You know the warning signs when you feel yourself spiraling down. And so I paused and I was like, okay, because I'm feeling some kind of way, it's best that I find myself quiet. So step one, when you find yourself going into any situation that maybe you're uncomfortable, maybe you haven't quite figured out why you're stressed out, you don't know why you're frustrated, you don't know, the best thing to do is to be quiet a little bit so that you don't take things out on innocent bystanders. That's what happens too often. You're hurting, you're annoyed, you're bothered, you may not know why, and then all of a sudden you make it everybody else's problem. And so those people that you love the most are in the line of fire, so to speak, again for whatever is happening. So I decided, let me just be quiet for a little while to figure out what's happening. But I knew one thing, you know, when I get sad or frustrated or I feel like things aren't going my way, I have to do a couple things. I have to, one, figure out, is this my ego talking? Like, am I upset or am I hurt because somebody hurt my feelings? Or is it my ego talking because I didn't get it the way I wanted it? Are things not happening the way I want them to happen? Hey, Meg. Hey, Queen. I have to ask myself those difficult questions. And then I have to see, what is the real root cause of what's happening? Am I upset with myself? Am I upset with someone else? And so I had to be honest. and this is full transparency, part of my frustration was I was upset with myself because I wasn't accomplishing things as quickly as I felt that they should be. Things weren't done in the time I thought that they should be done in. Things weren't being done as smoothly as I thought. People that I thought would show up weren't showing up the way that I thought that they should. And you'll notice that I keep saying thought, because one thing that I live by is that life is always happening for me. It's not happening to me. And people are always exactly where they're supposed to be, and they're always doing what they're supposed to do. And too often we judge people for not being where we want them to be. But what if that's not where God called them to be? You know, they're not supposed to be, hey, Gene, they're not supposed to be where we want them to be, but we're being selfish, feeling like we need them to be where we want them to be. And so I had to take a deep breath and I had to look at my life and say, T, what's really going on? Like, you have a great life. Nothing is really wrong, right? And so I had to make a decision in that moment. And you get to make a decision in all these moments what you're going to choose. Are you going to choose the pain and allow the pain and the frustration and the annoyance to drive you so that for the rest of the day or the rest of the week or the rest of the month, all you're thinking about is all of the problems that you have? Or are you going to choose joy? Are you going to allow the fact that things didn't happen the exact way you wanted them to throw you off completely? Or are you going to choose joy? Because the one thing that I know for sure is that every time something has happened in a way that wasn't the way I wanted it to be, it always worked in my favor. It always turned out in my favor. And so I want to come to encourage everybody to say, choose joy. Choose joy when you don't understand it. Choose joy when you're frustrated. Choose joy when you lose patience with yourself. Choose joy when you lose patience with your kids. Choose joy when people cut you off on the freeway. Choose joy when people lie to you. Choose joy when you feel like you're being betrayed. You get to choose joy the same way you get to choose to be frustrated, angry because you felt belittled or you felt like someone did something to you. The same way you get to choose bitterness, you get to choose joy. You always get to choose joy. But you know what I noticed is that society and life tends to tell us that when someone hurts us, we're supposed to be angry. We're supposed to be bitter. We're supposed to hold something against them. And if we don't hold something against them, then that makes us weak. We're weak if we don't stand up for ourselves. We're weak if we don't speak up. But that's not true. I've come to find that there's a lot more strength in silence than there is when you actually lash out. It's easy to lash out at somebody. It's easy to go off and cuss somebody out. That's really easy. But to sit in quiet times, to sit in silence and not speak up, even when you know that what you're saying or whatever it is that you have is right, that's true strength. And so I've come to find that being quiet is so much more important. And why do we feel, or people feel, like everything has to be validated? Because I said it, it has to be validated. And if you don't validate whatever it is that's being said by me, then I get to decide that I want to be upset with you. No. And I'm speaking about your businesses. I'm speaking about the way you live your day-to-day life. Once again, I'm not talking about anything political. There's nothing political in my mind right now. I'm talking about us choosing joy all the time, even when it hurts. And I'm not saying sit around with this fake smile on your face pretending. No. What I am saying is that when it hurts, when it's frustrating, when you don't understand it, when you don't know what's going on, instead of allowing your immediate default to be depression, to be sadness, to be pain, to think the worst case scenario, when somebody says, oh, the boss wants to see you, your first thought is, oh my God, I'm going to be fired. Oh my God, it's going to be horrible. Why can't you choose joy? Why in that moment can't you assume that it's something good? When the kid's school calls, why is it that it always has to be something bad? They did something wrong. Why can't you choose to say, maybe they just won an award. Maybe they're calling me to give me whatever great news. They got a scholarship. Too often, people tend to choose horrible outcomes versus choosing joy. And the bottom line is, whatever it is you constantly put your focus on, whatever it is you constantly put your attention on, that's what you're going to get more of. And so as I'm sitting around focusing on myself, going through these internal conversations that we all have constantly within ourselves, I have to really think about, like, T, what's up? What are you going to do right now? Like, what is it that you are going to take from this? And too often, when you are an influencer, when you are a leader, when you are guiding somebody, when you are doing these things, you feel like you need to show up perfect all the time. You feel like you have to have your best face on. Okay, here we go. I'm great all the time. And I know I'm very friendly and I'm very chippery, but I'm human and I have emotions too. But just because I'm human and I have emotions doesn't mean I get to be a jerk to people. Just because I'm human and I have emotions doesn't mean that when people say mean things to me that I'm allowed to just lose my stuff or have whatever, go off the handle. And just because I'm human and I'm a forgiveness coach doesn't mean that I have to get it perfect every time. But I do believe that as we grow in life, not even but, and as we grow in life, we get to make decisions of how we are going to proceed with something. So in this case, knowing what I know about myself, that's step one. Have a very clear self-evaluation of who you are. Who are you? Who are you consistently? We have to be honest with ourselves about who we are. Like, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know my triggers, I know the areas that I should not go down. It's a rabbit hole for me. And I know the places where I stand tall and I'm very confident and strong in. And therefore, because I know and I've come to grips with who I am, when these pity parties or these moments of or these situations come where I feel like I could be defeated, or I feel like I might be deflated, or I feel like I might not be winning, or I have all these emotions, I get to tap into me to get to the root of why am I feeling this way? Is this really true? And then for all of you, when you get to that point where the pity parties come, the sadness comes, there are always people who will tell you what you didn't do. It could be a situation where the people closest to you are reminding you of all the things you didn't do. That's when you want to sit down, you want to grab your pen really fast, and you want to begin to write out all the things that you have already accomplished in your life. What have you already done in your life? You get to remind yourself of what you've done. You have to be your own biggest cheerleader. The only way you can find joy, the only way you can choose joy, the only way you can choose gratitude, the only way you can choose happiness, the only way you can choose stillness, the only way you can be present in the moment is for you to continuously remind yourself when it hurts that you've been here before and you were able to overcome. God said something to me years ago. He said, Tanisha, I want you to remember in the dark what I told you in the light. And that was one of the most powerful things, because I was in one of the darkest places of my life. And he said, remember in the light what I told you in the dark. Remember in the dark. Yes, remember in the dark what I told you in the light. Basically, when you're in your darkest place, what did God promise you? What was that promise that he gave you? What was the thing that he was like, this right here is yours? There are things that you know are yours. There are things that you've prayed for and you heard God so clearly and you're so close to it. But the things that you're seeing right now, the pressure that you're under in this exact moment, you're like, maybe I misunderstood God. Maybe I really wasn't supposed to have that. Maybe he's overlooked me. Maybe God forgot me. He did not forget you. He has not overlooked you. He is preparing everything for you. The question is, are you really committed to it? I hear people say things like, listen, I got one foot in and one foot out. I'm about to throw in the towel at any given minute. If it doesn't work out this time, I'm quitting. Any of those phrases means that you are not really faithful and committed. And I get it. Tanisha, I've been doing it for 10 years. It doesn't matter. God told you that this was yours. He didn't give you the time frame. You don't know how big whatever it is that he's going to have for you is going to be. And he needs to see if you're going to be a good steward of it. Even for some of you, when it comes to money, it's frustrating. You can never keep money. You can't save money. You can't build money. Well, maybe he's trying to teach you how to steward that money very differently, so that when you walk into the next door that you're flowing into, he knows she got it. I ain't even worried about it. He knows she's going to give. He knows she's going to do the right thing with it. That could be part of it. Because if you're not a good steward of $100, how are you going to manage $100,000? Right? And What is your mindset when it comes to that? Listen, y'all, you know, I run and I walk and I do all this exercise. And when I'm out, I literally expect to find money. And I always find money, right? So I find pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters. I found dollars. I found $35 one time. I'm not talking about money I found in my wallet or my pocket. I'm talking about money outside on the street. And here's the deal. When I find a penny, I always say the same thing. Thank you, Jesus, for the increase. I am a money magnet, right? I say it every single time. If you can't, and some of you may say, T, what's a penny? Like, girl, nobody's worried about a penny. Okay, well, go to the cash register and try to pay for something and not have a penny and see if you have the total. Because if you don't have that penny, you're not taking that item out. Why? Because the cashier will have to pay a lot for that. And some of you may say it's just a penny. Correct. But how many customers does that person have to come across? And if they come across enough customers that only need a penny, now that register could be short $100, $200, whatever the case may be. You understand? Like, so yes, it's just a penny, but that penny becomes something else. And let me talk to you about something, the compound effect of it. Have you, any of you heard of the compound effect? If you have an opportunity, and I hope I get this right, y'all, because I'm going off the top of my mind, but if you have an opportunity to get a lump sum, I know I'm going to mess this up. I want to speak positive, but I think I'm going to mess it up. If you get a lump sum, if you can get a lump sum of $1 million one time, or you can get, what is it, like 2 pennies? It's some small amount, 2 pennies or something like that every day for 30, a penny a day. You get a penny and it doubles every day for 30 days. Which one would you take? Would you take the penny that's going to double every day for 30 days? Or are you going to take the $1 million lump sum? I know some of y'all are on vacation. Y'all taking the milli and you out. You're like, forget this game. I ain't got 30 days. I could already be in Mexico and living my best life. Some of you are like, I'm patient. I'm going to pay the long game. So here's what happens. There's a compound effect because it's a penny today, and then tomorrow you double, you double, you double, you double. By the end of it all, if I'm going off the top of my head right, that 30 days, that same million that you needed right up front, it's like 5 million and some change. Okay, in the 30 days, because it's a compounding effect. Choosing joy is a compounding effect. Choosing happiness is a compounding effect. Choosing gratitude is a compounding effect. Choosing anger is a compounding effect. Choosing bitterness is a compounding effect. Choosing lack is a compounding effect. Whatever it is you decide to do in your life, it is going to compound, whether you believe me or you don't believe me. If you find yourself constantly surrounded by people that are just like, oh my gosh, this is like the worst. They're the worst people. They don't have my back. That's a compounding effect of something else that's happening in your life. So that is why these past couple days, I had these thoughts in my mind. I knew I had to choose wisely what route I was going to take, because if I didn't, there was going to be a compounding effect of what was going to come based on the energy that I was omitting. The energy, not the words. And so I said I need to be quiet so that I don't take this out on anyone else who has nothing to do with my stuff, because nobody did anything to me at all. But I also need to quiet my mind in order to ensure that the thoughts that are coming into my mind are healthy. Now, what some people choose to do is you'll say, I'm feeling sad. So then you go and put on the saddest songs ever. Don't do that. Put on upbeat music. You understand? Put on some stuff that's going to make you feel good. Watch some things that are good for your soul, for your eyes, for your ears, for you to hear, for you to see. Take control of your life and how you show up. You get to choose joy if nobody else told you. Because I know society tells you when things go bad, you're supposed to feel sad. When things don't go your way, you're supposed to have a pity party and be angry. When things aren't perfect, you're supposed to cry and hope that it goes away. And I understand that that may feel good, but it doesn't answer everything. And sometimes I do have a good cry, but I also have realized that sometimes I just need to be still and really dig into me. Why am I here? What's really happening in my mind? What's really causing me this pain? And what can I do to shift my current situation? You have control over everything that's happening in your life right now. You do. You may not be able to change every circumstance, but you have control and the power to decide how you show up. Are you going to choose joy? Are you going to look for the best in it? Are you going to see the best in every person who's around you instead of thinking that everybody's out to get you? You get to decide. So I hope that you choose wisely. Choose joy, choose peace, choose laughter, choose love, but make sure you choose you first. Choose you. Choose you. I love y'all. And I'm going to see y'all so soon. Continue to choose joy and love and laughter. And if there's anything that I can do to help support you, love you more, let me know. If you have not already signed up to join the Business and Forgiveness Mindset Reset, the Masterclass series, it starts tomorrow. You want to get in there. That bundle is $44 for all 4 courses. It's every Monday in the month of November. Live Q&A. However, the replay is available. The price goes up today at 10 p.m. That price goes up. So jump in there, get into that course. We're going to talk about how to monetize through Facebook, the power of forgiveness, how to craft and own your story. There are so many areas of your life that you think it's procrastination, but it's really not. It's some other stuff. So we're going to walk through how to build and navigate where you're stuck. Basically, we all need to be finishing 2020 strong so that we can crush 2021. Our world has been reset as far as I'm concerned. The government has hit the reset button on some of the things that have gone on for the past couple of years. And it's time for you to reset, because although we were so passionate about this whole election and so excited, but what about the reset button in your life? The fact that it's been 10 years, 15 years, and you've been stuck in the same place and you keep expecting something different to happen. That president may change some stuff, but they're not changing your core beliefs. They're not changing your habits. They're not changing the reason why you're not making more money. It's going to take you doing something different in order for you to have a different outcome. So I'll make sure the link is in there. Go to forgivenesslifestyle.com. DM me right now. If you don't feel like finding anything else, just DM me right now and I will send you the link right now so that I can see you tomorrow in that class. It's $44. The price goes up, and that's for 4 classes, $44. Price goes up tomorrow. I love y'all, and I'm going to see y'all soon. Ciao.